Hey, grab her.
Holy cow!
Jelly, don't run off. I got a lot of work to do, but this is yours. What's going on, Faction? Here with a new project. I'm going to talk about my 72 Plymouth Satellite Sebring that I'm going to be building. Originally, my plans for a project for myself were going to be a JDM car of some sort, but you've already seen a couple on the channel. There's the 240 and the 260. Well, I was planning on something like that, and then there was one Christmas, I believe it was Christmas, my dad had to bring out the picture. He brought out a picture of him next to his 72 Plymouth that I've heard him talk about at least twice a year my entire life. But growing up, the only thing he had was a minivan or a truck. So he always talked about his nice car, but he never drove us around in one. And I had the thought, well, there's already a couple of JDM cars I'm helping out with. Why not do something for somebody else? So I'm going to build this car for Dad, and got the siblings talked into helping me out a little bit too. So that's never a bad thing. First off, needed to figure out what the car was, trim level, everything. So showed a little bit more interest in the car than normal. I found out it is a 72 Satellite Sebring Plus, which is the higher level of trim. So a Roadrunner is the sports trim. The Plus model is the Roadrunner plus everything nice. It's not as fast because it's heavier, obviously, but he had the big motor. With the 727 torque flight in it. He had the Dana 60 rear end. There was full interior, everything you could get packaged on it. The only problem I had with the car was when he showed me, he's not that great at picking out colors. It was the green with the silver on the bottom, not that great. But it gave me something to start searching for. So I decided that I was going to start searching, and quickly found out, searching forums, searching eBay, searching anywhere I could, that a 72 Plymouth is kind of hard to come by, especially in the B-body style and the E-body style, but this is a B-body. It's the fuselage style is what they call it. It was just a 2-year run. It was 71 to 72. And it was when it was getting more rare to start buying these types of cars right before everything happened in the 70s. Then I ended up on the B-body forum. I found a few cars. They're all over the country. You're not going to find one close to you if you try, unless you have one of those giant Mopar specific junkyards near you. But I ended up searching for about 6 months online. Everything I found was, it's an old Mopar, so it was rusty somewhere. There was no way out of that. So I found one on one end of the country. I'm looking at it. It looks great on the outside, great body panels. I could go get it. It's a little expensive for what it is. So I kind of sat on that one, didn't quite go. Was looking around some more, and the interior was gone. No trunk floor at all. You could Flintstone the car along if you wanted. And then after about that 6-month time period, I ended up finding one on eBay that looked decent. It had been brushed by a brush fire on the driver's side. The panels were rusty, definitely. You could see holes on the driver's side. The trim had been melted off. You could see the lights, they got hit, and the side marker was melted. But interior looks great. They definitely did some work on the interior. Carpet's definitely not from the 70s. It's new, so hopefully it's not hiding something in the floorboards that I can't see from underneath. But sight unseen, decided I'd start bidding on this car on eBay, see if I could get a better price than what I had seen. And sure enough, after it ended, I ended up winning the bid with a price I was happy with. Then the only problem is it's a bring a trailer car. So I needed a buddy who had the trailer, who had the truck, and someone to drive with me, and the rest of the guys on the YouTube channel had that covered. Jumped in the truck on a Friday night, drove 14 hours in one direction, grabbed the car, drove 14 hours all the way back, no stopping. The two of us, one person was sleeping while the other was driving. It was a great experience. Definitely recommend doing it all over again. So the first time I had seen the car in person was when we put it on the trailer where we picked it up from. And I was pleasantly surprised with everything I had seen on that car. That was even able to drive itself up on the trailer, something I didn't think would happen. So while loading it up and we realized it was running, the seller, he actually offered to drive it up on the trailer. And he started it up, which amazed us. Definitely has rusted out headers, and it sounded kind of like a boat motor. And then as he starts trying to pull it up, you can definitely tell something is iffy in trans fluid area, and it was very jolty up onto the trailer. And once he got it on the ramps of the trailer, it was go or no go at that point. So he sort of hit it pretty heavy, and the car shot straight to the front of the trailer, almost took out John, and we ended up with it on there, not great. But he had to go, so we ended up strapping it down and went down the road to one of the gas stations and spent half hour to an hour just back and forth with the winch, trying to get it recentered so when we strap it down, it definitely wasn't going anywhere. On the drive back, no problems with the car moving around, straps stayed tight. The only problem happened going through some mountains. We ended up in the middle of the night, for some reason, a warning on the truck popped up. Trailer electrics disconnected. So that was nice and scary. I was driving, ended up waking up John, and we ended up pulling over. Everything turned out okay. The electronics were going in and out. Might have been the cold that we had driven through. Yeah, at one point it was like 12 degrees outside, so a lot of creaking and whatnot happens, and electronics aren't big fans of that, especially when you go from 70 degrees at the pickup location to 12 degrees at the end location in 14 hours. We get the car back, we get it loaded off the trailer, and the only place for it to go at the moment is the two-car garage at my place. So at the garage, we started it up, we were able to back it in, almost ran over somebody again because of the transmission and having to rev it so high just to get it moving. And then the brakes are definitely not there. It has a brand new brake booster on it because the fire obviously hit the one that was on it, and the brakes didn't work the best while pulling it in, which definitely didn't help. And there it sat, because another part of the eBay purchase is it came without a title. But I found out that there are states that allow you to register a car based off of the age without a title. A bill of sale is just fine. And where the car is now and where it will end up with my dad, that's a no-go. So I'm sitting waiting for the state to issue a title for this car. And while it's sitting, I get to come up with the plan. Being a JDM guy that I am, now stuck in a Mopar world, I didn't really know where to start or what to do. All I knew was muscle car V8. And bringing a little bit of me into the build, I know I don't want to keep the old suspension, I don't want to keep the old carbureted motor. I want to turn this project into a resto mod. I'll keep it a Hemi. I'm going with a modern Hemi I've purchased. It's just a 5.7 out of a Charger. and it's a good starting point for me. May end up more because I also have decided I'm going to set up a twin turbo setup on this car. It's not something you see a lot. A lot of the guys in the Mopar world, if they want a power adder, you're looking at nitrous or you're looking at a supercharger or those combos. Turbos aren't really around unless you're looking at a really fast drag car. So it's something different. So I have a little bit of a plan, and I'm not building the car for me. So there's another problem is I need more input from Dad. My dad's birthday was coming up, so decided with Mom that she was going to complain about needing to go on vacation and would come down and visit. And they came down to visit on his birthday weekend. Then while they were here, we kept the garage closed, kept the car hidden, and decided to do a big reveal for Dad so he could just see the car and help me decide what he wanted in it. So while they were there, I ended up calling the guys and telling them, hey, we're going to do a reveal this weekend. Do you think you could show up? We ended up getting to film that reveal for him.
Holy cow!
Joey, don't run off. I got a lot of work to do, but this is yours.
Holy cow.
It's going to be full restore when you get it.
You don't have to do it for me.
No, I am. It's yours. This is the worst part right
Is
here.
this a 72?
Yep. Just like yours, except it's not the plus model, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find a plus model, and plus I'm going to resto mod it. You're going to get a modern Hemi in transmission.
Holy cow. And you got a lot of panel work to do right here, but that's okay.
I can buy this whole panel.
You gotta open it up.
Yeah, it's not like
Oh, yeah, this one's going to take a heck of a lot of work.
not really. This is all surface on the roof.
No, I'm looking underneath the wall.
But yeah, just
Gee,
yeah, it's just the base 318 model.
I had a 400 thermoquad on mine.
Yep. But don't worry, this modern Hemi will put out more power than
Yeah,
that.
I know. Outstanding. Gee, you don't have to do that for me. That's a heck of a birthday present.
Yeah, well, birthday, Christmas for the next infinity.
10 or 20 years.
Forever. Until it's done.
Hold our dog.
Done? Yes. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna copy a plus model, sort of. But
Yeah, the fenders, I think the nose is just a little different, a little more rounded on it.
no,
Is it the same?
it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plus is just a different trim level with the engine, and then it has like the rally dash. So like your dash was different. But
Yeah.
it's the same V body as what you have.
No, Gus.
But I needed a project, and
That's going to be one hell of a project.
found one. Yeah, no, it shouldn't be too bad. But we were able to talk a little. I told him what I was doing. So he did end up, he wanted it to be old Mopar, so he's going with a manual this time because that's one thing he wished he had in his. And for that manual, I'm going to modernize it. I'm going with a Tremec T56 or possibly a TR6060 out of a Charger or Challenger, kind of depending on what I can find. But a new T56 would be nice. And he doesn't want it to handle like his old one did. That was another complaint he had. And back in the day, he remembered it feeling like a boat going down the road, even though it was supposed to be a fast car. So another option that I'm coming up with is a suspension kit, a full upgrade all around. And while looking around at cars, I had talked with others who are doing Charger builds and all-wheel drive Chargers, and one option I had come up with was an all-wheel drive swap for this car because that would definitely be something different. And a lot of the cars I was looking at were rusted out in the floorboards. So I mean, it'd be an easy option then, instead of replacing floorboards. Instead, I'm looking at just cut out the bottom of that car, cut off the top of a new car, and figure out how to Lego them together. That, after looking around, is a lot of work, definitely, and not a road I would want to go down unless absolutely necessary, because bolt-ons are always easier. And with the car I found, even sight unseen, getting it back, it looks like it's an obvious choice where bolt-ons are the way to go for me. There, there are a few companies that make a full bolt-on suspension kit for this car, and what they do is they fully replace the cape member and the control arms, and they add coilovers all around. That's all for the front, and then in the rear they also make a triangulated four-link, kind of the way a Fox body Mustang would be set up. And that's obviously a much better choice for the ride quality my dad's looking for than the stock springs and shocks that are in there. It's a much better option than the stock leaf springs that are currently underneath the car. Haven't decided on the exact company yet, still mulling my options there. Everybody has the good part, everybody has the bad part. But from there, I now know that my engine choice that I made is going to bolt straight in. They all make motor mounts for it. And I know my transmission choice is going to be straight bolt in, because they also add a trans mount to the kit to get it to reach. So that's where I currently am on the project. I am slowly taking it apart myself in the two-car garage just to have something to do. But once the title paperwork is done and I actually have a title for the car, that's when I'll go all in on the project. And I know I'm ordering parts for a car that I'm able to keep. So in the current stages of the build, my plans are sort of set in a staged build. Once it's fully torn apart, going to sandblast everything, figure out where all the rust is. I already know some panels need to be replaced with AMD sheet metal that's already stamped out, and I will figure out the ones that I can't see, what needs to be replaced there. I can start ordering sheet metal, and once I have sheet metal on, I can get it off of there and start doing the suspension kits, which, if all goes well, are direct bolt in, but everybody knows how that goes. Something has moved in the 60 years or so this car has been around. We'll bolt on the suspension, we'll get the 5.7 I have purchased in the car on the mounts, get the transmission in there, see how everything fits, then hopefully start mapping out a turbo kit to go on the stock 5.7 just to get a running car, because I want to get the car to Dad in a reasonable amount of time. And the easiest way to do that is to go with an engine that's already built, go with a kit for all the electronics, wiring harness, ECU, dash, all that, get all that figured out with companies that already make all of that for a Mopar B-body, which is helpful. The outside of the fuselage style car is definitely different, but underneath being a B-body, it fits with anything that is for a Charger as well from the same era, or the other Plymouths from the era that are on top of the B-body. Once we get all that fitted, I'll run on easy tunes for what a stock engine can handle. Dad definitely doesn't need as much power as I want it for me, so starting on a stock 5.7, I'll definitely be safe. And the T56 is definitely rated for anything a stock 5.7 will give it, even after boost, a safe amount of boost. And then with everything bolted in, I will get, the interior is in really good shape for this car. I'm keeping most of the interior. Only problem is it has a bench in the front, and I want buckets just performance-wise, because this isn't a car that's going to be babied. I'm going to force Dad to either let me or get him out on a track of some sort, maybe a drag and drive event, or get a little bit of an classic car autocross in, just so he can experience what his old muscle car could do, plus modern equipment behind it. And once it's up and running on everything in a stock place, I know a turbo kit can fit, and I don't have to switch over to a supercharger, which is a possibility. And after a while, after saving, after he has fun with it and decides it's better used in my hands, hopefully he does want to keep it around a while, I'll surprise him with a built motor. And with the built motor, we can then go a little faster. He'll hopefully be used to the speed. I'll be used to the speed. With the 4-links, we'll have wide tires. It'll definitely handle more power more easily. It'll be safer on the street with wider tires than what were originally on it. It's a project to keep around, keep in the family. It's not something I'm looking to get rid of. It's something for a family to bond around, is the ultimate goal of this project, with everybody helping with it for being a project for Dad. It's a memento that we're trying to keep around. Well, that's the gist of my plans. That's my build that you will be seeing on this channel, hopefully in the near future. Kind of depends on the state of the title, but I'm ready to get going on it. That's why I've started taking it apart in the garage by myself, just when I can. I think I've ranted long enough about it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I'm hoping Dad will enjoy driving the car. Won't be too scared of it. Please remember to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below. Maybe you're a Mopar expert and can help me find some parts that I'm looking for in the future. Thanks for listening all the way through. I'll see you guys in the future.